Welcome everyone to the final of the 2024 Southern UK Mirror of ACF 4. This contest between Oxford A and Cambridge A. Cambridge A have the advantage, meaning that they only need to win one match in order to become outright winners. Oxford A need to win both matches in order to be declared champions. Without any further ado, let's get going. Here is your toss at one. Good luck both teams. A yearly ritual in this city, in which fire is miraculously created, is housed in a building rebuilt under the rule of Al-Zahir. That building in this city contained a structure called the Edgar, features an immovable ladder under one of its windows, and has...
Jerusalem.
Yes. Bonuses to Cambridge. Alice Walker defined the term womanism as an expression of feminism for women with all kinds of this type of identity. 7 points each. Name this type of identity. Opponents of an approach called critical this concept theory argue against its ideas surrounding white privilege.
Race.
Yes. One of the pioneers of critical race theory, Kimberley Crenshaw, named this theoretical approach that considers how different identities, such as race and gender, combine to cause unique forms of discrimination.
Intersectionalism.
Yes. This advocate of intersectionality argued that oppressive systems tools cannot truly fight oppression in The Master's Tool Will Never Dismantle the Master's House, an essay in her collection Sister Outsider.
I don't remember that is. Angela.
This is Audrey Lord. Toss up 2. A nickel aluminium alloy is treated with a solution of this compound to activate rain nickel. In the production of biodiesel, this compound's anhydrous form catalyzes the transesterification of triglycerides with methanol. Bauxite is heated with a solution of this compound to produce alumina in the Bayer process. This multi-element compound is isolated with the extremely inefficient chloralkali process. A canonical neutralization reaction reacts hydrochloric acid with this compound.
Sodium hydroxide.
Yes. And bonuses. This process can involve implementing out-of-order optimization, such as software pipelining, to improve the performance of code, for 10 points each. Name this process that converts code from a high-level programming language to machine code. Building C code involves performing this task with a program such as a GCC before linking.
Compilation.
Yes.
Compilation.
Yes. One common compliant optimization involves unrolling these constructs to reduce overhead. These constructs, which come in for and while types, are used to repeat the same block of code.
Loops.
Compilers that take optimization by expressing the code in this word's single assignment form simplify it. This keyword is used in C to declare variables that preserve their memory even after a function exits.
Global.
Static. Toss up 3. This interval separates the highest 2 notes in Wagner's Tristan chord. In just intonation, this interval corresponds to a pitch ratio of 4 to 3. Alto flutes are pitched...
Perfect third.
Sorry?
Perfect third.
No, afraid not. Below constant pitch. This is the interval between the 2 chords in a playing of cadence. The first 2 notes of Here Comes the Bride correspond to this musical interval. An augmented form of this interval is known as a tritone. Apart from the unison, this is the smallest musical interval that is perfect. This interval, which is made up of 5 semitones, separates the subdominant and the tonic notes in a scale. For 10 points, what interval is created by moving C to F?
A fourth.
Yes. And bonuses to Oxford. Kathleen Keller has rebutted the argument that this ruler cross-dressed by identifying inscriptions like His Majesty herself on statues for 10 points each. Name this longest reigning female pharaoh in Egyptian history, who led an expedition to the land of Punt and built a massive mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari.
Cleopatra?
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
Or is that Hatshepsut? I don't know.
Yeah,
Hatshepsut?
Yes. Hatshepsut erected 2 100-foot tall obelisks at this temple complex, whose great hypostyle hall resembles a papyrus swamp. Along with Luxor, this complex was located outside of Thebes.
I don't know. The Valley of the Kings.
I don't.
Valley of the
It's
Kings?
Karnak.
Okay.
The tomb KV-60, which is thought to contain Hatshepsut's mummy, was explored by Howard Carter almost 20 years before he unearthed the tomb of this boy pharaoh in 1922.
It's a
Tutankhamun.
Yes, 2 of those. Toss up 4. A ruler of this dynasty asked a foreign king for figs, wine, and a sophist in a treaty exchange. This dynasty's final ruler was assassinated by his general Pushyamitra, leading to the rise of the Shunga dynasty. This dynasty's founder defeated Seleucus I's invasion and was later visited by Megasthenes. This empire's strong central government was advised by Chanakya, the author of the political treatise, the Arthashastra. Another ruler of this dynasty created rock edicts and lion-top columns.
Moria.
Yes. Bonuses. In one film, Smiley adds pictures of both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King to this business's Wall of Fame, which previously only had pictures of Italian Americans, for 10 points each. Name this business whose windows are destroyed in that film when its employee Mookie throws a trash can in a riot that leads to the business destruction.
Sal's Pizzeria.
This director of Do the Right Thing plays a delivery driver of Sal's Pizzeria named Mookie. Other joints by this director include Malcolm X and Black Klansman.
Spike Lee.
Sal destroys one of these things with a baseball bat, causing a brawl with Raheem that later leads to Raheem's death and the riot to destroy Sal's Pizzeria. In the film, Raheem is nicknamed after carrying one of these things.
Radio, boombox.
Yes. Yeah. Toss up 5. In an anonymous novel from this country narrated by a town crier, a young boy is sold to a blind old man and a series of corrupt clerics. In the second part of one novel from this country, a character who appears in an unauthorised sequel signs a declaration affirming he had never met the protagonist before. The picaresque genre originated from this country, the setting of a novel in which a man battles with wineskins and he mistakes him for a giant. In that novel from this country, the titular character tips windmills.
Spain.
Yes. Bonuses. In March 2024, a crime lord of the G9 Alliance, nicknamed Barbecue, organised a prison break of over 4,700 inmates in this country, for 10 points each. Name is Caribbean country, where Ariel Henry has resigned amidst an increase in gang violence. Henry had earlier served as Ministry of Health director following a devastating 2010 earthquake in this country.
Haiti.
The prison break failed to free 18 ex-Colombian soldiers involved in the assassination of this Haitian president in 2021.
Yeah.
Belancourt.
This is Jovenel Moise. Nayib Bukele, the president of this country, has offered to intervene to control Haiti's gang population with a 60,000 person capacity jail. This country was the first to make Bitcoin legal tender.
El Salvador.
Yeah, El Salvador.
Yes, 2 of those. Toss up 6. The lesbian organisation Daughters of Benedykt was founded in this state, whose leaders, Del Martin and Phyllis Leon, became the first same-sex couple to legally marry in the US. Jose Sarria, a political candidate in this state, adopted a drag persona based on his former resident, the self-proclaimed Emperor Norton.
California?
Yes.
Both.
Bonuses. Answer the questions about Jose Hernandez's Argentine epic poem Martin Fierro for 10 points each. Martin Fierro consists of multiple payadas, but all examples of these types of poems would are typically set to music. Banjo Patterson's Waltz Matilda is a Bush type of one of these poems.
Bush,
I'm
Bush lyric, I don't know.
It's a
Lyric?
poem?
The Bush ballads.
Oh, okay.
Unlike the Gauchesque poetry of before, Hernandez structured Martin Fierro with this many rhyming lines per stanza. An Italian sonnet consists of an octet succeeded by this many lines that comprise, say, sestet.
6.
6.
Yes. This writer praised Jose Hernandez's storytelling of Martin Fierro in the essay Derivas de la Pasada. This Chilean author also wrote the novels The Savage Detectives and 2666.
Bolaño.
Yeah.
Nice.
Top 7. In a novel by this author, a vicar with albinism is revealed as the leader of Jos Merlin's gang of shipwreckers. A character created by this author is blackmailed by Jack Favell. This author creates a protagonist who marries a man she meets in Monte Carlo and is later manipulated into wearing a replica of his ex-wife.
Du Maurier?
Yes. Your bonus is a painting by William Fisk showed this man's wife, Elizabeth Bourchier, begging for the life of his defeated opponent, for 10 points each. Name is Statesman, who supposedly ended a 1653 speech by claiming, "You have sat for too long on any good you have been doing. In the name of God, go," for dissolving an organisation known as the Rump.
That's Oliver Cromwell.
You got it.
Oliver Cromwell?
The Rump Parliament was itself established after this parliamentarian colonel conducted a namesake 1648 sacking of the House of Commons.
Pride.
Pride's purge aimed to cleanse the House of Commons and MPs thought to be loyal to this King of England, who was beheaded after the English Civil War.
Charles II.
No, it's the first.
Oh yeah, Charles the
Charles
First.
the First.
Yes.
Yep, sorry. Thank you.
Toss-up 8. It's not murals or frescoes, but these artworks often feature powdered marble that is covered with gesso before the application of contrasting Roscreech and Ukrainian colours. 3 angels gather around a table near the Oak of Abraham in one of these artworks created in memory of St. Sergius that appears in the 1966 Andrei Tarkovsky film. Naves are separated from the sanctuary by these artworks, examples of which are held in the...
An altarpiece?
Jones.
The Tretyakov Gallery are painted by Andrei Rublev. These works often depicted Christ as the Pantocrator and were disputed during a namesake period of Byzantine history. For 10 points, name these religious images common in Eastern Orthodoxy.
Icons.
Yes. Bonuses. In this play, the Maid Mary reads a poem about the water, sky, and ashes all catching on fire, for 10 points each. Name this play was opened with an Englishman seated by an English fire while the English clock strikes 17 English strokes. In this absurdist play, the fire chief interrupts a dinner between the Martins and the Smiths.
So an inspector calls. Oh,
Probably, yeah.
An inspector calls.
This is a Bull Soprano. In the Bull Soprano, Mary declares she is this fictional detective. This character, created by Arthur Conan Doyle, works with Dr. John Watson.
Sherlock Holmes.
The Bull Soprano is written by this Romanian French absurdist playwright who also described Berenguer's refusal to turn into a title animal in the play Rhinoceros.
Flaubert.
This is Eugene Ionesco. Toss up 9. Niels Christie found that these institutions in Scandinavian countries are ideologically rooted in folkevett instead of a culture of absolute power. Michelle Alexander argued that the role of the institutions contributes to a racial caste system in her book The New Jim Crow.
Prison?
Yes. Your bonuses. State determinants are the selector's wave function to satisfy this statement for 10 points each. Name this statement that applies to particles with half-inch spin. A consequence of this statement is that electrons in the same orbital must have opposite spins.
It's like the
Fermi exclusion
principle.
The Pauli exclusion principle.
Okay,
The Pauli principle applies that the principal magnetic and spin quantum numbers of electrons in an atom are the same. This number is different. This quantum number, denoted by a lowercase l, determines the subshell.
Angular momentum is L.
Yeah, angular momentum.
Yes, will be as a movable quantum number. The Pauli principle explains why the value of this quantity for an electron gas in a white dwarf is not 0. This quantity is measured in Pascal and equals force divided by area.
Pressure.
Yes. Full 10. This protein can be cleaved by enzymes produced by Clostridium bacteria, which can be used to treat Peyronie's disease. Facet is one alternate form of this protein. This protein takes the form of a triple helix with abundant glycine and proline residues. This protein forms numerous cross-links between cells and is synthesized by fibroblasts. A lack of vitamin C prevents the formation of
Collagen.
Yes. And your bonuses. A major arcana tarot card depicting an upside-down man performing this action embodies the Renaissance motif of Mundus Inversus, for 10 minutes each. Name is action performed by a one-eyed god for 9 nights in order to learn the runes.
Hanging?
Yes. The Hanged Man card is often compared to this chief Norse god who hanged from Yggdrasil.
Odin.
Yes. Instead of tarot cards, Norse people tossed runes for divination, such as Fehu, Wunjo, and others connect to this deity. This resident of Alfheim owned the ship Skid Bladnir, which can be folded and put into his pocket.
Frig?
Frigg.
No, it's Freya. And half and half.
Yeah, of
Scores
course,
there,
not
they're
all.
natural I've got, so that's good. Let's go for 11. The first hands-free headset microphones was made for this artist's 1979 tour of life from coat hangers. The end of a song by this artist features an effect created by the Fairlight CMI sampler, modifying the sound of breaking glass. That song is on the album Never Forever. This artist described freezing a chord using reverb for the opening drone of the song and asks, "Do you want to feel how it feels?" In annual celebration, this artist's fans wear red dresses in homage to the video of her song Wuthering Heights.
K-Bush.
Yes. Your bonuses answer some questions on the body's interaction with amatoxin, which is found in numerous poisonous mushrooms for 10 points each. The first organ to fail in amatoxin poisoning is this organ that detoxified xenobiotics. This organ can suffer from cirrhosis and is mostly made of hepatocytes.
Liver.
Yes. The second phase of amatoxin poisoning affects this organ that can suffer from Wilms tumour. This organ contains major and minor calyces and numerous capillaries that form a glomerulus.
Kidney.
Yep, nice. Okay.
Amatoxins enter cells via the OATP transporter, which also transports these 20-car molecules synthesized by cyclooxygenases. These molecules include an E1 subtype and cause vasodilation.
Vasodilation. That's
Vasodilation.
I don't.
So it's like 20, so it's amino acids?
These are prostaglandins. Yeah. Toss up 12. This action helped hunters track the Pennsylvania cryptid, the squonk. Both the Lithuanian goddess Eurate and the Greek Heliades, in the form of poplar trees, performed this action to produce amber. Despite being turned into a rock by Zeus, Niobe continued to perform this action. A frequent Marian apparition hoax alleges that statues perform this action with blood.
Bleed?
No. While disguised as the giantess Thok, Loki refused to perform this action, causing Balder to be trapped in hell. A spirit named for this action drowned her children in a river, but still searches for them in orphanages across Latin America. For 10 points, La Llorona is named for performing one act at morning.
Crying.
Yes. Your bonuses. This time period named annual holiday celebrating when Allah began sending decrees from heaven for 10 points each. Name this time period whose Arabic name precedes Al-Qadr in that celebration of the Quran reveal.
Is it
Muhammad was transported to Jerusalem as part of a namesake journey taken during this time period.
Night.
Yes. Some Muslims fast and stay up all night praying during the last 10 days of this holy month that ends with
Ramadan.
on Eid al-Fitr. During this month, families break their daily fast at sunset by using dates during iftar.
So
Ramadan.
Yes. During Ramadan, this optional prayer consisting of up to 20 rakat is recited after the nightly Isha prayer. Congregations aim to read the whole Quran, typically at the rate of 1 juz per night, while performing this prayer.
No idea.
I have no clue.
Okay, pass.
The throne prayer.
This is Tarawih.
Okay.
Toss up 13. In a Nintendo DS game, this character is unlocked after defeating Chief Chili and does the metal by using a power flower. A popular meme depicts this character.
Warrior.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And they got two. A suite based on this ballet includes characteristic dances such as trepak and dance of the militons, 10 points each. Name this ballet, which features a notable A major harp condenser in its Waltz of the Flowers.
Oh, is it the Nutcracker? Nutcracker?
Yes. The Nutcracker is by this Russian composer whose other ballets include Sleeping Beauty and Swan Lake.
Tchaikovsky.
This instrument plays the melody of the Dance of the Sugarplum Fairy in the Nutcracker. Bella Bartok included this idiophone in the score of a piece titled Music for Strings and Percussion of this instrument.
Glockenspiel.
This is the Celesta.
Oh.
Puzzle 14. Virginia Woolf's great-grandfather James Stephen wrote a landmark act targeting this practice. An essay about this practice written for a Cambridge Latin competition made Thomas Clarkson a prominent opponent of it. The Clapham sect opposed this practice, which was protested by a Josiah Wedgwood medallion produced in 1787. An early opponent of this practice, Granville Sharp, was inspired to argue for prosecuting the Zong massacre by another advocate against this practice, Olad Equiano.
Slavery.
Yeah.
Spell notes.
Your bonuses. One subplot in this novel concerns litigates healthcare reforms, while another follows the romance of Fred Vincy and Inez Dara. 10 points each. Name this 19th century novel published in 8 instalments, which follows the lives of Dorothea Brooke and other characters in the fictional
Middlemarch.
Middlemarch.
Middlemarch written by this author, whose other novels include Silas Marner and The Mill and the Floss.
George Eliot.
Existing publication under her real name, this author wrote novels under a male pen name.
George Eliot.
Hayslope, another fictional Middlemarch community, the setting of this early Eliot novel, which explores Arthur Donnithorne's and the type of characters competition at the heart of Hetty Sorrel.
Daniel Deronda. Adam Bede.
Yeah.
Adam Bede.
It is for all three of those.
Nice.
Toss up 15. Towards the end of his life, Richard Wright wrote thousands of works of this type published in a collection subtitled This Other World. Works of this type were compared and analysed in an anthology based on the...
Haiku.
Yes.
Nice.
Your bonuses. This city was the site of the general act that determined European spheres of influence in Africa, for 10 points each. Name is capital of Germany, where Otto von Bismarck organised a conference to organise European interest in the scramble for Africa.
Berlin.
So Berlin.
One ruler sent an international association of this region in place of his country, Belgium. The dismemberment of workers' hands in this region is recounted in Adam Hochschild's book, King Leopold's Ghost.
Congo.
Yep.
Congo.
At the Berlin Conference, Portugal introduced this document, which outlined its claims to lands connecting Angola and Mozambique.
I have no idea.
it's
The
like
Salvador.
the-
The Salvador Treaty.
It's the pink map.
Cool.
Toss up 16. You've got the scores there. They match what I've got. Okay, wonderful. Toss up 16. When an armed force of these people besieged a city, Dick King rode 960 kilometres to call reinforcements after the Battle of Kangela. With the command Kill the Witches, a group of these people was killed by Dingane. These people formed two namesake republics north of the Orange and Val rivers.
The Boer.
Yes. Your bonuses. Margaret Thatcher worked in the lab with this scientist as an Oxford undergraduate before abandoning science to focus on snatching milk from British children. 10 points each. Name the scientist who won a Nobel Prize for uses of X-ray crystallography to elucidate the structure of biomolecules like penicillin.
Franklin. Oh, Franklin didn't win that.
Yeah, that's true.
Last please. Chris, this is Dorothy Hodgkin. In 1969, Hodgkin led a team that used X-ray crystallography to determine this molecular structure. Friedrich Banting and Charles Best discovered this hormone, which people with type 1 diabetes cannot produce. Hodgkin also determined the ring structure of vitamin B12, which has an atom of this transition metal at its centre. This ferromagnetic element is also used in a namesake blue pigment.
Cobalt.
Yeah.
Cobalt.
Yes. Toss up 17. A value name for this scientist, which was recently measured by the Shoes project, is defined as the time derivative of the scale factor over the scale factor. The reciprocal of that value named for the scientist is approximately equal to the age of the universe.
Help us constant.
Yeah.
So,
Your bonuses. This country's Battenberg province contains a bamboo trade for 10 points each. Name a Southeast Asian country. This country's Tonle Sap Lake lies near its city of Siem Reap, which contains the Angkor Wat temple complex.
Cambodia.
Lake Tonle Sap is connected to this major river by the Tonle Sap River. Phnom Penh and Ho Chi Minh City are both on this river, which forms the border between Thailand and Laos.
Mekong.
This mountain range in southwest Cambodia contains the Tatai Wildlife Sanctuary that conserves the Indochina's tiger.
Should it be like the Tonga Mountains?
I don't know.
Tonga?
It's the Kazama Mountains. Just 18. In a play set in this city, a character vows that the villainy you teach me I will execute. A woman in this city elopes with Lorenzo by stealing her father's...
Venice.
Yes.
Great bus.
Nice.
This politician declared an emergency in one country in 1975, ruling by decree and causing elections to be postponed. For 10 points each, named as third Prime Minister of India. This politician was assassinated by Sikh bodyguards months after launching Operation Blue Star.
Indira Gandhi.
Indira Gandhi led India in a war against this country, which led to the independence of Bangladesh. In 1990, Benazir Bhutto became the world's president of the government to give birth and office while leading this country.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Sirimavo Bandaranaike, the first woman to be elected as head of government, was from this majority ethnic group, Sri Lanka. Governments dominated by this ethnic group were opposed by the Tamil Tigers insurgency.
Sinhalese?
Yes, for all three of those. Toss up 19. The phonons in sound waves are considered as independent examples of these systems in the Debye model for specific heat. The Morse potential is used to measure deviation from these systems in infrared spectroscopy. Angular frequency times the ratio of energy stored to heat power lost gives these systems Q factor, which quantifies their level of damping. Since applying the small angle approximation allows them to be modelled with Hooke's law,
Simple harmonic oscillation.
Yes.
Nice.
Bonuses. A character in this play prepares cucumber sandwiches for Lady Bracknell, which the butler Lady took to be eaten before she arrives, for 7 points each. Name this play in which Jack Worthing and Alban Moncrief pretend to have the same name and use bun bearing to avoid social events.
Importance of being earnest.
This Irish Brigade playwright wrote The Importance of Being Earnest in addition to the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oscar Wilde.
In The Importance of Being Earnest, this character is the governess to Cecily Cardew. At the end of the play, this character reveals herself as Jack's mother, who left him in a handbag at Victoria Station.
Oh, it's
I don't know. Do you know?
Lady Augusta. I don't know. Lady Augusta.
Miss Prism. Toss up 20. The introduction of a book by this thinker outlines a paradox where one can't determine the ability to know the absolute without defining the absolute. A 1930s Paris lecture series collected as introduction to the reading of this thinker was delivered by Alexander Kodyev. This thinker described how a determinate being is formed through the process of sublation.
Hegel.
Yes.
Nice.
This artist's portrait of Jacob de Gane III is nicknamed Takeaway because it has been sold on a record 4 times, 10 points each. Famous Dutch artist whose approximately 40 self-portrait paintings are often the targets of theft. This artist also painted The Night Watch.
Rembrandt.
This Rembrandt painting was the most valuable artwork sold from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum during the 1990 art heist. This painting, which depicts an event in Mark chapter 4, is Rembrandt only in seascape.
It's Jesus on the water with his disciples. I forgot what it's
Like Jesus calming the storm.
Yeah, Jesus.
This is the storm on the Sea of Galilee.
Okay.
The robbers Joris Fontaine and Aris Kin are portrayed in 2 Rembrandt paintings depicting the public demonstrations conducted by people with this profession, such as Nicholas Tulp.
Yeah. Doctor.
Yes. Final scores, I have 355 thoughts play plays 260 for Cambridge A. Round 2.
5 minutes later.
Okay, here we go for the round 2. This is now winner takes all. Toss up 1. An immobilized pH gradient can be used in a 2-dimensional form of this technique. Isoelectric focusing in this technique can be subject to cathodic drift. Denaturation of proteins to create a uniform negative charge in this technique can be accomplished by using detergents like SDS. Cyber gold is an intercalating agent used in this technique that is less toxic than traditional dyes. The size of molecules is
Gel electrophoresis.
correct.
Nice.
Your bonus is designed from a 2024 collaboration between this company and Tyler the Creator, features logo drawn in a craggy style and surrounded by pastel-coloured flowers, for 7 points each. The name is French Fashion House, whose current menswear director is Pharrell Williams. This company's logo appears with flowers and casting foils on the brown monogram canvas of its handbags.
So, I don't know, just
Yves
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yves Saint Laurent, yeah.
YSL.
This is Louis Vuitton.
Oh.
Pharrell's first show as creative director was promoted with ads featuring this then pregnant Barbadian singer who founded the fashion brand Fenty.
Rihanna.
Pharrell succeeded this first black Louis Vuitton director as menswear creative director. This founder of the fashion house Off-White died in
Virgil
1971.
Abloh. Sorry, Virgil Abloh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toss up 2. In a novel written in this language, a character claims that he is no Othello. Othello was a lie. That novel in this language depicts a villager who used to seduce unmarried British women like Jean Morris. This language was used to write Season of Migration to the North, and was also used for a work where characters representing Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad rule over portions of an alley. Amina breaks her collarbone after being hit by a car in a trilogy written in this language that took the titles Palace Walk and Palace.
Arabic?
Yes.
It's muffins. Yeah, it is.
Bonuses. Hugo Duminil Copan was awarded the 2022 Fields Medal in part showing the continuity of a phase transition in this model for 10 points each. Name this model consisting of spins arranged on an inch lattice. This model was solved analytically by Lands on Saga in 2 dimensions.
I don't know. So
Bohr model.
This is the Ising model. This phenomenon is modelled by the Ising model. Gadolinium and nickel display this phenomenon, which is caused by the alignment of spin states.
magnetism. It's like dimagnetism.
Paramagnetism.
Right.
No, it's ferromagnetism. Ferromagnetism just appears above a temperature named after a physicist with this surname. A female physicist with this married surname spelled polonium and radium.
Curie.
One of those.
Okay.
Toss up 3. This thinker was influenced by Anne Conway's spirit particles to write a book that calls perception mechanically inexplicable and compares a thinking machine to the inside of a mill. This thinker's law states that 2 objects that share all their properties cannot be distinct. That law is also called the identity of...
Leibniz.
Yes. Bonuses. In the absence of British control, New Providence in the Bahamas became a so-called republic of these people, for 7 points each. Name these people, many of whom used to be privateers, who attacked ships for booty without governmental approval. Examples of these people include Blackbeard and Henry Morgan.
Pirates.
Piracy received a boost as unemployed crews returned to it after the end of the War of the Spanish Succession, whose American theatre was named for this monarch. Blackbeard's ship was named for this monarch's revenge.
Queen Anne.
Henry Morgan attacked settlements like Portobello in this Central American country, raising its old capital. Scotland attempted to colonise part of this modern-day country under the Darien scheme.
Panama.
Yes, all 3 of those. Toss up 4. It's not steam, but in a namesake process, oil refineries use these substances to crack high molecular weight petroleum into gas-state products. These substances are perfect if their efficiency is limited only by diffusion. The efficiency of these substances is impeded in poisoning. Leaded gasoline can impede the removal of carbon dioxide from exhaust with a converter named...
Catalyst.
Yes.
Yes. Screw clubs. Science.
3 men known as the Bachelors fly around this location searching for love, sending down a shower of hats wherever they go, 10 points each. Name this location, which is primarily expected in dialogue between Hans Waldman and Roger Bennett III. In a 2017 novel, a man appears in this location to visit his young son Willie.
I've got absolutely no idea.
I
A
don't know.
church.
A church.
This is the Bardo. This man is the Bardo in a George Saunders novel. This historical figure was described as a bronzed, lank man in a Vachel Lindsay poem titled This Man Walks at Midnight.
Lincoln.
Yeah. In a Saunders short story, Samuel killed a teenager for stealing candy at an amusement park themed on this conflict. This conflict is central to the Ambrose Bierce essay, What I Saw of Shiloh.
Civil War.
Yes.
The American Civil War.
Yeah. Number 5. This businessman founded the Dear Boy Independent, a weekly newspaper through which he published a series of anti-Semitic articles.
Ford.
Fair play.
Nice.
This substance is drunk from an iron bowl and sprinkled onto the hair and eyes during a ritual whose participants could repeat the phrase, the victory belongs to God, for 10 points each. Name this mixture of sugar water that Sikh youth stir with a double-edged sword to become a member of the Khalsa, a pool named for this nectar and is named for the city in Punjab that contains the Golden Temple.
No idea.
I don't
Got
know.
no clue.
Milk.
This is Amrit. After the Amrit Sankar, both Sikh men and women changed this thing. In the Naam Karan ceremony, Sikhs choose these things from the first word on a randomly chosen page of the Adi Granth.
Name.
After Amrit Sanskar, Guru Gobind asked what Sikh women would take the surname Kaur and Sikh men take this name, which is Sanskrit for lion, as adopted by
Singh.
Gobind himself.
Sing.
2 of those. Number 6. After discovering Asanius was invulnerable to swords and spears, these creatures buried him under a pile of tree trunks and stones. One of these creatures, named Pholus, opened one of their sacred wings for sacred wines, Heracles. In one origin story, these creatures were fathered by Ixion with the cloud nymph Nephele. These creatures fought a namesake war with the Lapists of Thessaly.
The giants.
No. A wise one of these creatures gave up his immortality in exchange for Prometheus' freedom after being struck with a poisoned arrow. That one of these creatures trained heroes like Jason and Achilles and is named Chiron. For 10 points, named his race of mythical human-horse hybrids.
Centaur.
Yeah. Before it was filmed in Sydney, Hannah Gadsby's show Nanette was performed at an event in this city. For 10 points each, name the city. The TV series Fleabag was originally a Phoebe Waller-Bridge one-woman show delivered at this capital city's annual Fringe Festival.
Edinburgh.
The protagonist of this TV show meets his abuser while trying to get an audience for his Fringe show. This show's title comes from the nickname that Martha Scott, a convicted stalker, uses for Donnie Dunn.
Baby Reindeer.
This other Netflix show opens at a graduation party at Edinburgh University. This TV show, based on a book by David Nichols, tracks the meetings of Emma Morley and Dexter Mayhew over 13 years.
One Day.
You're so
Three of
good.
those. Last up, 7. This artist depicts a naked boy who refused to give a pair of horses to an opposing army in the unfinished painting The Death of Young Bara. In a painting by this artist, the central figure holds a note saying, "Given that I am unhappy, I have a right to your help." Another painting by this artist shows a group of weeping women looking away from the central figure in a red cloak. This artist depicted 3 brothers reaching out towards swords, while in another painting he depicted an assassinated
David.
Yes. This novel protagonist often reflects on a memory of asking to borrow a pencil from a classmate for 7 points each. Name was a novel by Thomas Mann, in which Hans Castor's visits to his sickly cousin Joachim resulted in him staying at a Swiss sanatorium for 7 years.
Death and Venice.
This is The Magic Mountain. The Magic Mountain is an example of this type of novel, which depicts the protagonist's development in their formative years. The term for this type of novel comes from the German for education novel.
Bildungsroman.
Yeah.
Bildungsroman.
Yes. In The Magic Mountain, Hans leaves the sanatorium due to the outbreak of this war. Eric Maria Remarque's novel, All Quiet on the Western Front, depicts fighting in the trenches during this war.
First World War.
Yeah. So, 8. While in this location, one character observes the letter M transform into an eagle and recite a poem. While viewing the three colour spheres in this location, a character experiences his desire and his will being turned like a wheel by the love that moves the sun. A huge rose in this location is the home of one author's real-life crush, who was first fictionalised in the collection La Vita Nuova. In this location, the protagonist is guided through 9
The Underworld.
No.
Oh my god.
9 concentric spheres by his unrequited love, Beatrice. 10 points, named its title location in the 3rd section of the Divine Comedy, which Dante explores after Hell and Purgatory.
Paradise.
That was the 3rd section.
Because Mesoamerican use of lime plants have bled into the nearby soil, Charles Golden observed the city of Piedras Negras using an infrared form of this technology. 10 points each. Name is technology used in the Mirador Basin project, which creates landscapes through dense canopies based on aerial images.
LiDAR.
Could be, yeah.
LiDAR.
Yeah. In a process similar to making a tortilla, indigenous people in southern Colombia would soak this plant in quicklime before chewing. This addictive plant is made into a similarly named white powdered drug.
Coca.
Yeah. The plaster at Teotihuacan contained a blend of lime with blue and green forms of this material. Aztec Macuahitil clubs were invented with this material, whose natural sharpness led to its use in other weapons.
Obsidian.
All 3. Toss-up. 9. This dynasty faced a rebellion by a leader who was influenced by the essay Good Words to Admonish the Age, and set up his base at Thistle Mountain. The so-called ever victorious army fought for this dynasty against a rebellion led by a man who... Yes. Your bonus is a common undergraduate chemistry lab produces this compound from a phosphoric acid catalyzed esterification. For 7 points each. Name is anti-inflammatory drug derived from willow tree bark, which can cause Ray's syndrome in children.
Aspirin, right? Aspirin.
The synthesis of aspirin from salicylic acid produces this compound as a byproduct. This acid is the main component of vinegar and has the formula CH3COOH.
Acetic acid.
Ethanoic acid.
Ethanoic acid.
I mean, both correct.
Salicylic acid can be artificially synthesized by the Kolbe-Schmidt reaction, which reacts sodium phenolate with this compound. A supercritical phase of this compound can be used to extract caffeine from coffee.
Is it CO2? Probably. Sure. CO2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus 10. Savageness is the first of this style's 6 moral elements described by John Ruskin in The Stones of Venice. A building designed by Charles Barry and Augustus Pugin was inspired by an English type of this style called the Perpendicular.
Gothic?
Yes.
Great buzz.
The 2024 iteration of this country's annual Shunto negotiation resulted in an average wage increase of over 5% amidst rising fuel and raw material costs. 7.8. Name this country where Prime Minister Fumio Kishida encouraged companies to dramatically hike wages as part of his new capitalism initiative intended to combat deflation.
Surely Japan.
Japan.
It sounds like Japan.
Yes. After the wage increase, the Bank of Japan set a positive value for this metric, in which banks pay to restore reserves. In 2014, the European Central Bank broke this metric's zero lower bound by repricing short-term incentives.
Interest rate? I don't know.
Sure.
Interest rate?
Yeah.
Nice.
The Bank of Japan also ended a policy controlling this benchmark, wherein it brought Japanese bonds. Some economists claim the ongoing inversion of this benchmark's 2-10 variation in the USA is a recession warning.
Inflation.
Inflation.
This is the yield curve.
Yeah, okay, that's okay.
They do indeed match. That's 11. One legend states that dogs appear to people who study the Torah on the day before this holiday, which is why many study a parody text called the Toledot Yeshu. People on this holiday are often greeted in Hebrew with Chag Molad Samiach. The Baal Shem Tov popularized calling the day before this holiday Mittel Nacht. A dance called the Matzo Ball is often held the day before this holiday, which is often celebrated by eating Chinese food due to other restaurants.
So, Christmas?
Yes.
Nice. Great blessings, yeah.
This piece opens with the brass playing a forte C-sharp E chord, which resolves to a sforzando B-sharp D chord for 7 points each. Name this piece, the last of a set of 7 pieces performed during the Presque celebrations. A melody from this piece was used as a setting for the Christian hymn Be Still My Soul.
Not a clue.
No clue.
The planets. The planets.
This is Finlandia. This Finnish composer wrote Finlandia as well as 7 composite symphonies under the Karelia suite.
Sibelius.
Sibelius composed a sad piece in this genre, originally for his brother-in-law's play Polema. A lively D-flat major piece by Frédéric Chopin in this genre is nicknamed Minute after its short length.
Waltz. Waltz.
Yeah.
Nice.
12. David J. Peterson developed an ASCII-friendly transcription of these systems called SleepApp. Several of these systems can be transcribed using a notation developed by William Stokey, who developed keyreams to study them. Judy Kegel just studied one of these systems that spontaneously arose in Nicaraguan school.
Sunlight.
Yes.
Listens.
This author wrote about 2 lovers separated by hellspots in a poem that concludes, "Whoever loved, that loved not at first sight," 7 points each. Name this author of the poem Hero and Leander. This author wrote a play where the title character Barabbas gets boiled alive after he poisons his daughter Abigail in a nunnery.
Is it Marlowe?
Maybe.
Marlowe.
Yes. Marlowe also wrote a poem about a passionate member of this profession that begins, "Come live with me and be my love." These people are also depicted herding flocks of animals in the pastoral genre of poetry.
Shepherd, surely. Shepherd.
This author finished the poem Hero and Leander after Marlowe's death. This translation of the Odyssey is by the John Keats poem titled On First Looking Into this author's Homer.
I don't know who translates.
The Earl of Oxford.
Maybe.
The Earl of Oxford.
This is George Chapman.
Oh,
13. This politician's reforms were the first to be publicly displayed on rotating wooden tablets called axomes. This politician, who established the casting of lots to select a council of 400, mandated that people who killed in self-defence would be exiled. The Suda claims that this politician died after being suffocated by cloaks thrown by admirers. Demades equipped that this leader wrote in blood rather than ink. This ruler ended the system of blood feuds and distinguished between intentional and unintentional homicide in the law code largely
Hammurabi.
No. Largely replaced by Solon. For 10 points, name is early Athenian ruler, whose name is synonymous with severe punishments.
Draco. Fuck my friend.
The Reconstruction era reforms that followed this conflict were attacked by the racist Dunning School, 10 points each. Name is conflict after which the first black codes were passed and Confederate states reintegrated into the Union.
The U.S. Civil War.
US Civil War.
Yeah. This historian opposed the Dunning School in Black Reconstruction in America. This historian and sociologist popularised the term double consciousness in the souls of black folk.
W.B. Du Bois, I think. W.B. Du Bois.
Yeah. This false belief with a 2-word name was first stated during Reconstruction. This belief argues that the Civil War was fought primarily over states' rights, not slavery.
Lost cause.
Yes.
14.
14. In an Olga Tokarczuk novel, the translator of this author's works believes her neighbour
William Blake.
Yeah.
Great bust. Nice bust.
Terry Moffat developed a taxonomy for studying this type of behaviour that splits into adolescence limited and life course persistent categories, 7 points each. Name a type of behaviour. Diagnosis of psychopathy and sociopathy was reclassified as disorders of this type of behaviour in the 1980s, DSM by Harvey Cleckley and Robert Hare.
behavioural, I don't know, or personality?
Yeah, personality.
Personality?
Antisocial behaviour. Persistent antisocial behaviour is typically diagnosed as a disorder of this construct. The ocean model can be used to study this general construct.
Personality. Personality?
Yeah. Not fit for significant volumes of life cause persistent antisociability in subjects with both chronic disorder and this other disorder. Adderall and Ritalin are common medications used to treat this non-narcoleptic disorder.
ADHD.
Yeah.
Great.
Puzzle 15. A dimensionless quantity named after this force can be calculated using the Harland equation or the Darcy-Weisbach equation. A quantity named after this force is plotted against the Hertz number on a Strebeck curve. This non-electrostatic force is independent of velocity by Coulomb's law and is independent of apparent surface area by the second of Amonton's laws. Electricity...
Gravity?
No.
Oh, it's okay.
Electricity is produced by this force in the triboelectric effect. The static form of this force equals the normal force times its negative coefficient denoted mu. Lubricants reduce the effect of this force. For 10 points, name this force that resist objects sliding past each other.
Friction.
Yeah.
It's okay. Good guess.
Bonus, this story concludes with a medium obtaining the testimony of a dead man for 10 points each. Name this Ryonosuke and Kutagawa short story about the conflicting claims of witnesses surrounding a murder of a samurai.
It's called in a Grove.
Okay. In a grove?
Yes. Another Kutagawa story set of this animal's thread featured the criminal Kandata attempting to climb out of hell using a piece of web woven by one of these 8-legged animals.
Spider.
This Kutagawa story ends with the narrator's plea for someone to gently and kindly strangle me in my sleep. The narrator of this story is tormented by visions of the title objects.
Yam gruel.
It is cogwheels.
That's right. Fucking gasping.
Yep.
Is that good book?
Yep. 16. Before moving to Can Wales in 2022, the Mercado de Lineas in Buenos Aires was this good's largest trading point. To support production of this good, JBS has been accused of bribing government officials to overlook illegal logging operations. Brazil is the world's largest exporter of this good, whose producers may use dietary supplements to shorten lifespan and reduce carbon emissions from this good. Frauginia and picanha are cuts.
Beef.
Yeah.
I should have asked them. Did you know? Yes.
A cross between two organisms with this characteristic results in 75% of the offspring having the dominant phenotype of 10 points each. Name this characteristic where organisms have two different alleles of a gene. Organisms with this characteristic are notated as having one uppercase and one lowercase letter.
Heterozygous.
Yes. The archetypical organism studying genetic inheritance is this plant grown by Gregor Mendel, the green variety of this vegetable grown from pods.
P.
Deviations from the phenotypes expected in Mendelian genetics can be due to this phenomenon. Elements close together on a chromosome undergo this phenomenon, which can be used to map a chromosome's contents.
Mutation.
Sure.
Yeah, possible.
Mutation.
This is genetic linkage.
Lock it, guys.
Puzzle 17. This phenomenon underwent a change 784,000 years ago named for Bernard Brun and Monitori Mutayama. Bauer plots compared this phenomenon's dip angle with its declination, which is 0 on agonic lines. Change in this phenomenon's orientation delineate Crohn's. This phenomenon's strength reaches a minimum at the South Atlantic anomaly, where the Van Allen belts are closest to the surface. Dynamo theory posits this phenomenon is produced by the convection of iron and nickel.
Earth's magnetic field?
Yes.
Yep.
Description acceptable. The engineer Charles Minard used an early example of a Sankey diagram to visualise the number of soldiers lives lost during this military campaign, for 10 points each. Being its campaign, which Michael Barclay de Tolly opposed using an unpopular scorched earth strategy. During this campaign, Joachim Murat took command of the defeated army after its general departed by sled.
Stalingrad? I don't know.
Could be, but
That sounds reasonable.
Napoleon's invasion of Russia.
Oh.
In another example of data visualization, Abraham Ward used red dots on a diagram to show where these machines could sustain damage. Spitfires and Messerschmitts were two examples of these machines.
planes.
This person pioneered the use of the polar area diagrams during the Crimean War for establishing an 8-day school at St Thomas Hospital.
Oh, Guy? I know it's Guy in St Thomas's Hospital, but Guy?
As far as Nightingale. 18. This collection was sold over 3 million copies in 1989 as a Kennedy recording. After initially playing in unison with the first violins, this collection soloist then played 6 consecutive trill on a high B. This collection is a C-sharp minor largo movement in which the repeated 8th note quarter motif is played always forte by the viola. A shepherd trembling in a thunderstorm is described in the sonnets published alongside this collection.
4 Seasons?
Yes.
Great.
Bootstrapping can approximate a statistics unknown population distribution named after this process of 10 points each. Named this process whose variety includes stratified and simple random. This process can be done with or without replacement to select a subgroup of a population.
Sampling.
You're sampling.
Bootstrapping can estimate the standard deviation of sampling distribution, which is used to approximate the margins for these constructs. The analogs to the construct in Bayesian statistics are described as credible.
I generally have no idea.
I don't know.
Variables.
Variables.
So confidence intervals. If a statistic falls outside the confidence interval, then this value for the statistic must be less than the significance level. Hacking for this value can lead to erroneous statistically significant results.
P-value, right?
Yep. Yeah.
P-value.
Yes. Scores level? Yes. Here we go. This event's perpetrator was imprisoned in Terezin, where he died of tuberculosis. After this event, one city's Hotel Europa was damaged in a riot encouraged by Governor Oskar Putyunek. One participant in this event failed to commit suicide after eating.
Assassination of Franz Bruno.
Yep.
Nice.
Bonuses. Answer a question about the early 20th century artist group known as the 10 American Painters for 10 points each. The 10 included John Henry Twatchman, Charles Hassam, and other painters from this movement. Claude Monet's painting of a sunrise inspired the name of this art movement.
Hudson River School.
Yeah.
Hudson River School.
This is Impressionism. A Charles Hassam painting on the Year Office depicts this phenomenon in Fifth Avenue with draped American flags. Gustav Kuybert depicted this type of phenomenon occurring on a Paris street.
Is it moonlight?
Yeah, sure.
Moonlight?
Right. This American Impressionist was not invited to the 10, but as primarily lived in Paris. This artist depicted numerous scenes of mothers and their children, such as the boating party and the child bath.
Boating party, child bath.
He lived in Paris. He was an American singer sergeant.
Singer sergeant.
Singer sergeant?
It's Mary Cassatt.
Oh, yes.
10 points in it. Here is some 20. A poem from this literary movement describes a death full of flowers after 28 lines that begin with the phrase "with your eyes." One member of this movement fictionalized another as the poet Karl Marx in a novel written on a giant taped-together scroll.
Phoenix.
Yes.
Let's go!
In popular folktale, one of these people cuts the top in half after a boy admits he was not devoted to his studies for 10 points each. Name is like a person. A figure who cultivates the peaks and mortality in her palace on Cooler Mountain is called the Queen, one of these people of the West.
I don't know. Which?
Mother. In her story, the mother goddess Nuwa is used the legs of owls to replace 4 of these objects separating the earth from the sky. Sun Wukong is given one of these objects and he uses it like a staff.
It's a pillar.
In Shaxi, the third brother goddess owns a magic one of these objects shaped like a lotus that scares away demons. On the first full moon of the lunar year, paper examples of these objects are lit and floated in the air.
Lanterns.
So I've got 315 talks today, place 2, 75 pages.
That was